You're listening to Celebrating the Faces of Small Businesses in Dalby, a special series for Small Business Month, proudly brought to you by the Dalby Chamber of Commerce and Industry in partnership with 4DDD. This May, we're shining a spotlight on the people behind our local businesses, the innovators, the risk takers, and the everyday champions who keep Dalby thriving. Join us as we go beyond the storefront to uncover the stories, passion, and drive powering small businesses across our region. Because when small business thrives, Dalby thrives. Happy Small Business Month. Hi, I'm Claire from the Dalby Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and today I'm joined by Phil Ryan from Andersens Dalby. Now, if you've spent any time on social media lately, chances are you've come across some of the great content Phil and the team have been sharing. It's a fantastic way to showcase not only their work, but a bit of personality behind the business. Andersens is a well-known name right across Australia, and here in Dalby, Phil and his team have built a strong reputation for helping locals create spaces they really love, all while keeping things friendly and down to earth. Today, we're going to have a chat about Phil's journey in business and what it's like working in a regional community, and how things have changed over the years. Phil, thank you so much for joining me. Now, let's get right into it. Can you tell us about your business journey and how you first came to be involved with Andersens Dalby?
Yes, so we got involved with Andersens. We had a mutual friend that knew the previous owners of Andersens were interested in selling, and I was the service manager at another business in town and knew that we were looking to move into an ownership position, and introduced us to Trevor and Julie Nimmo, who used to own.
And did you start straight away into ownership, or did you move into like a role in the business?
No, we dove straight in. So
Yep.
I was quite lucky. The roles were very different, but the skills that I needed as far as drawing plans, measuring houses, worked across both positions I'd held. So that made the transition a lot easier.
Yeah.
And the people I knew in the community were people I was going to deal with as well in the new role. So that helped.
Oh, that's good. They translated well then.
Yes.
So you and your wife Sally run Andersens together. How do you juggle the demands of work while also maintaining a healthy work-life balance?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say it's quite easy. Sal would laugh at that. It's really difficult because work, especially when you go into ownership, it's 24/7. So it is difficult to switch off and go home and, be a different person at home when you both work within the business. I deal with things with humour, so I'd find it difficult to say how we've survived as long as we have, or how I've survived as long as I have. Being as painful as I know I am at home. Work-life balance probably comes down to just trying to switch off and separate as much as you can from business to home life, and just trying to, spend time with kids when you can, but it is really difficult.
Yeah, I think leading with laughter is always good.
Yeah.
Lightening the mood a bit when tensions get high. Trends tend to change in every industry. How would you say from like carpets to vinyl, timber and hybrid, how products and trends have changed since you first started in the flooring industry?
Trends, as far as the products go, there's always changes and improvements within products with how they're made and how they're distributed. The biggest changes are probably more colour that we see. Going from when we first took over 9 years ago, colours were fading, going out, and greys were very popular.
Yeah.
So, and they've hung on for a very long time. Charcoals are still, they're hard to go past today because they just go with a lot of things. But we're starting to see now colours coming back in, like green's really popular for the last couple of years. And that's probably trends that change more than products is just the colours we see going through homes. And it is nice to see, people being a little bit more adventurous.
Yeah, I think they call it millennial grey, don't they?
Yeah, right.
On the internet. So So maybe as the millennials are coming out and the next generation's coming in, the colours are coming back.
Yeah, they definitely are, which is always nice. It's nice to be a little bit different every now and again.
Yeah, it would make your day a bit more exciting to have a bit of variance.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah. On that, what advice do you usually give customers who feel overwhelmed by the choices they have, and how do you help them select the right flooring?
Advice to customers. Probably the main thing that we work on is there's no huge rush a lot of the time with decisions. So, we're happy for customers to take their time with deciding. Sometimes customers think that we may feel put out because of how long they're taking or what samples they're looking at. But honestly, a happy customer is better than someone who makes a quick decision and regrets it. All our samples, we offer people to take them home and recommend they take them home so that you can see what it looks like in your own home under your own lights.
Yeah.
So that makes things a little bit easier. And then if we do have customers where we've got a lot of products that they like the look of, we just let them start being really critical. Tell me, you like all these products, but start being nasty. What don't you like? And all of a sudden you're like, well, I don't probably like that as much as this. And we start narrowing it down, and it just becomes a little bit easier because there's a lot to choose from. So it can be overwhelming, but if you can step back and just say, well, let's have a look at what you actually really do like the look of. And Instagram and Pinterest have helped and hindered a lot because everything is available, so you can see anything imaginable, and which helps, but it does also make it near impossible to recreate some products.
Especially, I would say AI would not help you guys as well, because people might want something that's just not attainable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of industries have seen that increase. So especially like aesthetic industries. Like you guys.
Oh, you can ask it to create anything, whether it's achievable or not. That's up to us to work on.
Now, Phil, every small business has its ups and downs. What are some of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome along the way? And with those, what have you learnt?
With business, I think probably one of the biggest things we've had to deal with, and it was a tough lesson, is dealing with cash flow. Coming from a managerial role to an ownership role, I probably didn't have the experience I needed in that particular area in dealing with cash flow. One particular job was a large commercial job where products turn up earlier than are required, and then work gets pushed back due to delays. Mm-hmm. So you're paying for products that aren't actually installed. It was our first year, and we had a large job, and work got pushed back, but all the products were here, and all of a sudden cash is very low. Mm-hmm. And it really brings you back down to earth quickly when you are making sure that you've got money in the bank to pay business, the suppliers, but more importantly to pay staff, and making sure that everyone's, got money for food and for their families. So that was a quick lesson that we learned from, and since then, it's more important in our business to just make sure you're on top of cash flow.
Yep.
And just being aware of bills going out, work coming in, and making sure that we never experience that again, because I definitely didn't like that situation, and we got through, and definitely learned from it. That's probably one of the biggest lessons we got, or I got dealt very quickly. And then ever since then, have made it a priority to make sure you're on top of.
Yeah, well, you obviously learnt from it if it happened in your first year, and you're 9 years later?
That's right. And it fell around Christmas, and obviously had learnt from since then that Christmas is a fun time for businesses, as there are a lot of holidays. So which means that the days you're actually working are lower, which means the work getting done is less, but you're still paying obviously for all the holiday pay, and so all your charges don't really change, all your costs don't really change, but your income does. So that was one thing that we learnt we had to just make sure you prepare for each year. And since then, it's it hasn't been such an issue. But yeah, once you don't know what you don't know.
No, I think that's a good lesson for anyone thinking about becoming a small business owner. Is
yes,
even during those periods, you still have to pay wages.
That's right.
And your bills don't change.
It's just having a good business plan and just being aware of what the ebbs and flows of business.
On the flip side of that, what are some of the most rewarding moments you've had in your years as a business owner?
Obviously, large jobs that we do are great to be a part of. Like when the Dalby State School got rebuilt from the fire, we worked with New State on that build, and it was amazing to be a part of that, with architects getting involved and different kinds of layouts of flooring and things that you could create that looked really good, and that it's great for the community and the school to have that facility rebuilt and nice and new. So that's always nice to be involved in larger projects. Some of the most rewarding are probably some of the smaller ones though, where a customer is really unsure of what they are trying to achieve and their choices of product. And then once the job's done and they see it all out and they're so happy with the final result, yeah, that's probably some of the best feelings you'll ever have in business is a happy customer.
Yeah. Well, I know I got my carpets done last year, and every day when I walk out, I'm like, I love this. So it's definitely like when you help someone pick something they love, they're going to look at it every day. So I can imagine that that's rewarding when you get that really satisfied customer.
Yes.
What is the most unusual flooring job you've ever had to work on?
The most different and unusual job that we've been a part of would be, we had a customer that wanted to do a checkerboard floor, or felt like she wanted to do it, but again was unsure about whether they should. And we had a cork product available at our store. It was, I still remember them now, it was a rainy weekend. I was working the Saturday. Our daughters were meant to be playing netball, and obviously with the rain that had been cancelled, so they had time to spare, so they came into the shop. We just chatted about what she wanted to achieve, and she really liked this idea of a checkerboard floor. It's not as easy to work out as you think, because a lot of products don't kind of mesh together, but we had some square cork tiles available, one in a white and one in a natural cork, and we put those together on the floor, and it worked on the floor in our showroom. But something that you can easily change is very different to something that's glued down in your own home and is designed to last a lifetime. Mm-hmm. So that one, she ended up going with it, and we saw the final results and we took photos of it, and it looked amazing. And she was really, really happy with the results. And that's probably one of the most unusual and rewarding jobs you'll see, because it's not only is it very out there as far as a design goes, but once it's down, it's quite difficult to change. And it is also one of a high-end products as far as cost goes. So had it not worked out, it would have been quite the expense as well. So that was a big gamble on their part, and it paid off. It looks amazing.
High risk, high reward, hey?
Yes. Yep.
So I mentioned earlier that your team is really good at social media and they look like they're always having a good time. As a business owner, you're only as good as the people around you. How important is your team to the success of your business, and what would you say your day-to-day dynamic is like?
The team you have around you is critical. Our day-to-day lifestyle at work is very lighthearted. So when we get visitors from head office that come out and just catch up with us and see how we're going, they will often let us know that the feel of the office is quite light, and they love to hear that laughter, which is nice. I am not the sternest boss about, which isn't always the best way to be, but it's who I am. So I work with it. We've got a great mix of people. We've got a big age group variance, and we have different cultures within our business, and it really helps us to be able to have a bit of fun And obviously our social media is part of that fun. Whether everyone realised that when they agreed to work with us or not, everyone's kind of grabbed it and run with it. And we have a lot of fun with it, but also in saying that one of the biggest things in working in any sort of smaller town or region is word of mouth will trump advertising every day of the week. So a good job will always get you more work than an ad on Facebook or anything like that. But I do find that even recently, even with the Dalby show the other week, our staff members were getting recognised before they'd even walked in the door because of our presence on social media. So it is always nice to sort of have everyone get that recognition, and it's happening because we are getting the work and hopefully happy customers with that.
Yeah. I think it's important to have a good team as well, because you spend most of your life at work with those people.
Yes.
So, and especially in a small town, you're going to see them around. It's really important that you have a positive experience, and it's clear that you guys do.
Yeah, like we don't always get along, but there's never any bad feelings past work.
Outside of work, how important is it for you and your family to be involved in the community?
It's very important for everybody to be involved, honestly. The community and our region's only as strong as the volunteers that probably work within it and the people that support our community. We get involved wherever we can, mainly through sponsorship of local events or local teams. We try and help out as much as we can. We're quite lucky that we are in a position that we can help as many as we do, and that does feel good to be able to help people when they need it. In a community sense, there's so many things, so many great events in Dalby that are organised and run by volunteers. So it is critical that you don't have to be involved in everything, but even if it's just a couple of things, it just takes a lot of pressure off somebody else having to do it on their own.
I also saw that you guys reached out to chinchilla businesses after the flood and offered to help with ripping out any carpet that was damaged. And I thought that was such a great community outreach that you guys offered.
Honestly, it doesn't take much to help. Like it's just being there to say, we can do it. We're set up for things like that, so it's easier for us to go do it than it is for somebody else to try and deal with it, especially in times of flood or anything like that. It's when you're involved in that, your mind's not in a great place. So if you can take any pressure off somebody that's going through that, that's definitely worth doing.
Yeah, definitely. It's always great to be able to support the community that you live in, because it just lifts everyone up. Now, our last question for today, Phil. Why do you think supporting local businesses really matters to a community, especially regional communities like Dalby?
I think supporting local businesses, it's the easiest way that everybody can inject income, time into our local area. It's really important that where possible, you should try and support a local business. It's not always possible, but it's really easy nowadays to hop on the internet and just Google search a product, find it, buy it, because you don't always get time during the day to do it, and a lot of shopping is done online at night. Yes. So it is really important just to try and shop local where you can. It's surprising, and it shouldn't be, but it is surprising just how much you can get in Dalby, because people can't always advertise every single product, and you can't always see everything that comes through online or on the radio to know what everybody sells. But if you do a little bit of research locally, you can often find what you're searching for within town. Every dollar that you spend in town helps the family that runs the business. It keeps the people employed that are within the business. It helps a business be able to support local football clubs and soccer clubs, and just everything that you put into a town that you live in really comes back to you and to the community. So there is no more important thing than shopping local.
Yeah, I think you're very right. I find myself surprised still about how much we can get in Dalby that you might not be aware of.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's really important if people make the effort to maybe go down the main street and pop into a store instead of Googling on the weekend.
Yeah, it is difficult. You can't get up somebody for doing it because it is so easy, and everybody is so time poor these days, trying to get by, working as hard as they can really to try and afford the costs of living at them, especially at the moment. But everything you do locally does stay within the town, so that's always a massive plus for the community.
Thanks for coming in, Phil. It's been really good chatting with you and hearing your insights.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to The Faces of Small Business. In places like Dalby, local businesses aren't just shops. They're the lifeblood of the community. This joint project by the Dalby Chamber of Commerce and Industry and 4DDD shares their stories. Tune in next time and celebrate the folks who keep our town rolling strong.